Hi, everyone. I'm Michaela. I'm a nonprofit Salesforce consultant with Bigger Boat, and I worked on configuring the full flow for one of our clients. So I'll demo that process for you. And I think I shared the right screen. Can everyone see Salesforce?
Yep.
Good. Okay, perfect. All right, so we added this multi-service, multi-resident selection flow within our clients' properties. So they would just go into one of their property records and select this record service deliveries button, and that will execute the screen flow. And on this first screen is where I enter in the first details related to the service that was provided. So I'll say at test property A, we provided a financial education workshop that happened on May 2nd. And then I can also choose a list of residents that I want to query. So some of their properties may have 100 residents, some may have up to 1,000. So having these lists for them to choose from will narrow down their participant selection. So we have all participants at this property, or they can choose from age categories, so youth, adults, seniors. And then we kind of have the one-offs where it's anyone that's enrolled in maybe an after-school program or anyone that received a service within the last 6 months. So I think for this, I'll choose adults. Click next. And then on this screen, I just enter in some additional details related to the service I provided. So we provided some tools to increase financial capabilities. And then I'll say that this workshop lasted for 60 minutes. And then at the bottom here is where we can see the table of residents to choose from. So I can do that many ways. If I scroll to the bottom, I can see that the list returned 11 residents for this property. If it was a property that had maybe 500 residents, it would be easier for me to use the search box up here and search for a few of their names. Maybe I can do Veronica. And then I can see Veronica was returned. And I would select her as receiving this service. And I can really search for any of these columns. So maybe I want to see everyone that has a case number starting with 1 through 3. And I'll say, okay, Jamal Green also attended this service. For any properties or any list that I choose where it's a kind of a smaller number of residents that were returned, it might be easiest for me to do the select all option. It will select all residents. And then maybe for this particular service, out of the 11 residents, maybe only 9 actually attended the service. So I would select all of them and then just kind of scroll through quickly and say, okay, Frank did not attend that service and Jess did not attend that service. And I'll say that looks good. I can look on the right side, just confirm everything looks good. And then I want to add another service to this. So continue. And then let's say that in this financial education workshop, we also offered one-on-one financial coaching at the end. So maybe the last 15 minutes of the workshop. Do it on the same day, May 2nd. And then on the next screen, I'll provide my details. So I'll say we provided some tools for budgeting. It was the last 15 minutes of the workshop. And then I would scroll down and see the same resident list. So anyone that I selected for the previous service will remain selected on this screen. But for this particular one-on-one coaching, maybe only a couple of the residents attended that. So what I can do here is deselect all the residents that were selected and then just choose the ones that attended this one-on-one coaching. So maybe John attended and let's do Mary. And then I'll say, okay, that's it. Those are all the services that I need to capture. I don't need to do any more. So I'll click no more services to add and then click continue. And that finishes the flow. And then I would be redirected into a list view that shows me all of the service deliveries that were just created. And I can do just a quick check, make sure all of the information looks good. If I need to change anything, I would just inline edit those details. I showed in the demo, I just did 2 services, but of course they can add 3 or 4, however many services they need, and they can continue to change the residents for each service that they select.